Locomotive Safety Standards Part 229, Subpart B, Inspection Testing, Module 3. Module Objective Supply FRA Safety Standard with the recommended deviation from standards. Subpart B, Approval, Overview, Inspection, and Tests. Inspection Tests, 229-21 Daily Inspection, 23 Periodic Inspection General, 25 Tests every Periodic Inspection, 27 Annual Test, 29 Biannual Test, 31 Main Reservoir Test, 33 Officer with the credit. Daily inspection, each locomotive in these must be inspected at least once each calendar day. Excluded the movement time of the 229-9 the locomotive has received the daily inspection for the calendar day prior to use may provide the locomotive does not have any non-compliant conditions. Excluded the 229-9, 137, and 139 the locomotive found with non-compliant conditions must be repaired prior to use. Daily inspection, documentation, retention. Written report shall be made with the daily inspection. Written report shall contain the following information: railroad's name, initial number of the locomotive, the latest date and time of inspection, description, each non-compliant condition found, signature of the person making inspection, making repairs, for notation indicating the nature of the repairs made. A record of previous daily inspections shall be maintained in the locomotive cab. Each written report shall be maintained for 92 days. Daily inspection, multiple units, same inspection, documentation, retention requires apply with the multiple unit locomotives. However, the documentation associated with the inspection may be part single master report covering with the entire multiple unit locomotives. Non-compliant conditions found with the multiple unit locomotives separate with the individual report shall be made with containing the information discussed on the previous slide. Daily inspection cab sanitation locomotive. The defect with the under 229, 137, and 129 does not render the locomotive not compliant. The locomotive may continue to be used to provide with the certain conditions or met. See matrix sanitation compartment. Locomotive can only be the defect with the daily inspection meet with the railroads any obligated to meet with the condition required by the regulation found with the defect with the daily inspection. Daily inspection qualified person for the regulation required with the daily inspection performed with a qualified person bearing with the mind regulation. Silent in terms of the minimum qualification, term, knowledge, skill, with ability necessary for the consent of the qualified person for the burden and proof of the FRA to show why the person is qualified to perform the daily inspection. Periodic inspection and test. Inspection and testing is required every 92 calendar days. Numerous sites of the tested inspector at this time, and the FRA cannot require the railroads to perform inspection locomotive over the inspection of the pit over in an inspection tip, but the railroad must position the locomotive at the location where the entire under portion of the locomotive can be inspected. Periodic inspection, documentation, retention. Inspection test of the PI are recorded with the Form 8180-49A from Form Blue Card. Other person doing the work on any person supervisor shall sign on the card attesting to the work done. 2 copies of the current 49A with each of the locomotives required. 1 shall be maintained with the on the locomotive. The other shall be maintained on the railroad files. A third 49A required by the preceding year. Receive that bullet. 49A shall be renewed April 2nd of each calendar year. Previous 49As maintain the locomotive plate for the new one when with the previous 49A plate for the railroad files maintain one over the year. Date and place of previous annual, biannual, really triannual, and MR test shall be transferred the previous 49 onto the new 49A. Periodic inspection summary for the FRA, the motor power and equipment. The inspectors have not been monitoring compliant with the event with the recording tests and railroad required with the inspected testing maintained in accordance with the manufacturer's instruction following with the FRA criteria. Written copy of the instruction shall be kept at the point where the work is performed. The event with the record shall be tested prior to the performing of the maintenance work for the one on it, and a minimum of the event recorded shall include the cycling of the all required recording parameters, determining full range each parameter by reading out with the recorded data with the microprocessor based on the event recorder equipped to perform self-test based on the maintenance inspection requirement if it has not been indicated as a failure. Event recorders, if the test does not reveal that the device is recording all specified by the data with all the recordings of the design recording parameters of the factor shall be noted with the defective data verification result required with the maintainment of the selection maintenance of the testing shall be performed with the necessary until the subsequent test is successful. When a successful test is accomplished, a copy of the data verification result of the maintainment of the locomotive maintenance records until the next one is filed. Railroad event recorder periodic maintenance shall be considered with effect of the 90% of the recorder inbound if any of the given month of the periodic inspection is still fully functional. Maintenance practice of the test intervals shall be adjusted as necessary to yield the effect of the periodic maintenance. Annual testing inspection for the testing required every 368 days, calendar days. Numerous error of the related items of the service at the time. If the railroad elects to do the fragment work required by the annual separated by the record and shall be maintained on locomotive duplicate record maintained in the railroad files. Fragment air record shall include with the locomotive number the list for the air brake component for the date and the place for the last inspection of the test of each component. Inspection test required by the annual or recorder for the Form 8180-49A form. The person doing the work supervisor shall sign the card fragment air records applicable to testing when the work has been done. Biennial testing. The inspection test is required every 736 calendar days. However, the FRA granted all railroads a waiver extending the test period of 736 to 11,400 calendar days. 1,104 calendar days to provide with the locomotive equipped with a 26L with equivalent brake equipment. Fragment of the airwork will allow to discuss in the previous slide. Inspection testing required with the biennial triennial recorded in Form 818049A form main reservoir tests. This isn't an issue with the introduction drilled reservoir that the railroads are no longer required to hammer hydro test main reservoirs provided with the reservoir are drilled, which they all are these days. One out of use credit. Use credit only account for the period of use of the locomotive at least 30 consecutive calendar hours. Locomotives out with the use of at least 30 consecutive calendar days of the railroad may extend. And inspection testing required in 229, 23, 25, 27, 29, 31. For example, the locomotives out of the 45 days would have otherwise been due annual inspection on the October 1st, 2003. The new date would be November 15th, 2003. Notation showing the number out of use days shall be made on inspection line on 49A. Form 6180, 49A form on final award, 49A form late with the 1989 FRA allowed the railroads to computer generate their own 49A forms provided that contain all of the elements for the original 49A form. In addition, the FRA also said information on either the computer generated 49A form must have the same order of the original, and the form must contain the original signature of the person doing the testing of the work that was completed. And this is open for your CFR Part 229 Subpart B, and this is end of Module 3.